Good morning, everyone. My name is Rashmi. Today we are going to discuss the topic of the questions which came on the JEE mains conducted on the 4th of April, right? So let's jump to the question, and I hope you all have done your exam very well. So let's jump to the question of the chemistry. So this is the first question of the chemistry, question number 20. What does this question says? This is the statement type question, which says that statement 1 says the boiling point order is given, that is HI is less than HBr and HCl and HF. And second statement tells you about the melting point order. So how to approach this? So first of all, we must be knowing that whenever we are looking for the boiling point order, what are our priority bases? So first of all, you will be seeing the intermolecular forces, right? Or the dispersion forces into the question, like what are the dispersion forces, van der Waals, dipole, what are the forces which are taking place? And the second one which you have to see, that is your size. So when we are looking for the boiling point order, the strongest hydrogen bonding which we can see is in the HF bond, because we know fluorine is highly electronegative element. So the HF compound, due to the hydrogen bonding, it will be having the highest boiling point. After that, second point is our size. We know on the basis of size, which is the like iodine is of the longer or the more in size. After that HBr, and after that HCl. So this order is not belonging to this one is, due to which it is false statement. Now moving to the second statement, which says about the melting point order. Now, what we have to think about seeing the boiling point and melting point order, that the size increases, right? Due to which the dispersion forces increases, and due to which the boiling point also increases. So this thing we have to keep in mind while solving the boiling point orders. And for the melting point orders as well, your dispersion forces increases, and which leads to the melting point increase. So again you have to keep the same in the mind, as well as in this order which is question is given. In this we know that there is strong hydrogen bonding in the HF, so due to which HF is having the strongest intermolecular force, due to which the melting point of HF will be the greatest. After that, the size also matters in seeing the melting point as well. So size, what is the size next? That is your HI, and after that HBr, and after that your HCl. So both the orders are incorrect. Both the orders are incorrect which are given in the question. But there is no option which says both the statements are incorrect, and we have to choose the most suitable answer among these four. So we will say the correct option is option number 3rd. Now moving ahead with the next question, which is on the screen. This question says that phenol is reacting with a compound in the presence of sulfuric acid, and which leads to the formation of the compound A, and after some time it reacts with the base and gives the product B. So it asks what is the color of the compound B. Now first of all, let me write the complete reaction which is happening over here, that phenol is reacting with the compound which is an anhydride as it reacts in the presence of H2SO4. It leads to the formation of a phenolphthalein compound. So let's draw the phenolphthalein compound. right? So this is a phenolphthalein compound, and the phenolphthalein compound, when reacts with your NaOH, it gives us a pink color. When phenolphthalein reacts with base, it gives us pink color. So we can say the pink color is obtained when the phenolphthalein reacts with the base. So our correct option will be our option number 4. Right? So now moving ahead with our next question. This question is also again a statement type question, which says maltose is non-reducing sugar and lactose is a reducing sugar. So which one is correct? Now, first of all, we must be aware about the composition of maltose and lactose. So maltose is made up of alpha D glucose. So when the 2 units of alpha D glucose combine, they make up maltose. And the C1 and C4 carbon are linked via the glycosidic linkage. Right? And when we see for the statement number 2, that is lactose, in this lactose, our beta D galactose and beta D glucose is also combined. They both make up the composition of lactose. So we see that maltose is and lactose both are reducing sugars. Both are reducing sugar. Why maltose is reducing sugar and lactose is also reducing sugar? Because lactose have a free aldehydic group, which shows that it can be reduced. Due to that maltose is said that it is a reducing sugar. So hence our statement number 3 will be correct. Why? Because it is our false statement and the statement 2 true is our true statement. Now moving ahead with our next question on the screen, that is, if the wavelength of the first line of the Balmer series and of the bracket series of hydrogen atom are respectively lambda 1 and lambda 2, so what will be the value of the ratio of lambda 1 by lambda 2, right? So how we will approach this question, as this question is from the hydrogen spectrum and we know the formula used in this, that is 1 by lambda is equal to R 1 upon N1 square minus 1 upon N2 square. This is the formula which we will be using here. Now we can see for the Balmer series, our N1 is 2 and our N2 is 3. For the bracket series, we know that N1 series is 3 and N2 value is 4. So when we will be calculating for first lambda 1, we will be taking for the Balmer series, that is what N1 is 2 and N2 is 3, right? So after solving, what we will get, F5R upon 36. For lambda 2 also, we will also calculate, that will be 3 square minus 1 upon 4 square, and after solving we can get it the value 9R upon 400. So as we want the ratio of lambda 1 by lambda 2, so we can write like this. After the solving, we can get the value of the ratio as 0.16 as the answer. So we can say that our option number first is the correct option. Now moving ahead with the next question on the screen is, what will be the pH at 25 degrees Celsius of solution obtained by mixing 100 ml of the 0.5 molar ammonium hydroxide and the 0.01 molar 25 ml of ammonium chloride solution? So first of all, this question is based on the buffer solutions, and we must know the formula for the weak buffer as well as acidic buffer. Now, what the question says, there is a solution made up of NH4 and ammonium chloride, right? So first of all, we will see there is ammonium hydroxide solution, right, and ammonium chloride. They are mixed and making up a solution. Fine. What is given in this case? There is concentration term, molarity is given, that is 0.5 molar for this, and for ammonium chloride that is given 0.01 molar, right? What else is given over here? That is volume. So what is the volume which is given? It is 100 ml for ammonium hydroxide and it is 25 ml for, this is our given values. Now we have to calculate what? pH. We have to calculate the pH. Now we know that ammonium hydroxide is a weak base and ammonium chloride is our salt. And we know when the weak base and salt combines, it makes a weak buffer solution. So we will get a weak buffer solution. And for the weak buffer solution, the formula which we use to calculate the pH, that is the pOH is equals to pKb, which is linked with the pKb plus log what? Base upon salt concentration. Now over here, pKb value is also given in the question, that pKb value is 4.74. Now, there are two ways to approach this question. One is traditional, calculating completely, right? And one is shortcut. What we can use over here, we need to calculate the moles, number of moles, and directly by putting the mole number of moles in the concentration term, we can easily calculate this question. So let's see how. Now for calculating this, I need to write completely like this. pOH is equals to pKb, that is 4.74 plus log base concentration upon salt concentration. Over here, I need to calculate the number of moles for each of the component, that is NH4OH, right, as well as NH4Cl. And I know I can calculate using the given terms, that is molarity and volume. For this compound, molarity is given, that is 0.5, and volume that is given, that is 100. After solving, we can get the value like 50. So there are 50 moles of ammonium hydroxide. And similarly, I will calculate for the ammonium chloride, that is the value given, it is 25 multiplied by 0.01, that is our volume and molarity, and I will get the value of 0.25. So while putting all the values, as I have said, that we will be putting the values of number of moles directly into the concentration term, so it makes the calculation easier, because if we calculate by the traditional method, it just directly cancels out. So what is the base value? That is 50. And what is for the salt? That is 0.25. Right? Now, we will solve completely. pOH is equals to 4.74 plus log 0.005 upon this, and log 0.005 value is minus 2.3. Upon putting the values and on subtracting, we will get the value around 2.4. So this is our value for pOH, but we want to calculate it for the pH. We need to calculate the pH. So pH will be calculated. pH is equals to 14 minus the value of pOH. 14 minus 2.4, that will be around 11.56. So our pH will be 11.56. So let's look for the options. Yes, so option number first will be our correct option. So now let's see you in the next video. Till then, bye.